gonna show you the tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking, and I need more of a show right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me on tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I hope we turn it around. No, I hope we turn it around. It's the right time, you feeling alright. I'm playing a game like I will win tonight. I think I'll do it on my way. I'm gonna show you what I'm going through, get you out of your comfort zone, 'cause I need more of the truth right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me on tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I hope we turn it around. No, I hope we turn it around. It's the right time, you feeling alright. I'm playing a game like I will win tonight. Don't forget it, don't forget it, don't forget it. We'll turn this around. Don't forget it, don't forget it, don't forget it. We'll turn this around.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Geeksvana Live. This is the third show. Really happy that you've all joined us again. Great to see the regular crew in the chat. Thanks for all the well wishes on the flight test. Pleased to report that the flight test has now gone ahead. In terms of how I did, well, you're going to have to wait and see. I'm very pleased that we've been able to turn that around. Literally, I'm still covered in sweat. Just come back from the flight location now. As far as how I did, well, you have to wait and see. Coming up after this, you'll be able to put your questions to me and get feedback out at the barbecue. But for now, let's take a look at the flight test itself and see what you think.
Okay, Sean, as you know, we're here for the GVC practical flight assessment.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
I am.
You are? Okay.
Absolutely.
Right, okay, so just confirm it's Sean Hickey?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
me.
okay, and you've done the GVC online theory?
I have.
You've passed that, no problems at all?
Yes.
We've done the ops manual.
Yeah, indeed.
We've assessed that, we've had a look at that, and we're going to be using to assess you against that during the flight, looking at your checklist.
Okay.
I've gone through that manual with you already this morning. So, way of introduction, you probably know me as Andy Hamilton. So, part of Drone Masterclass, I'm going to be your assessor today. Okay, so the purpose of the flight test really is to provide assurance to us and ultimately the CAA that you can safely undertake a wide variety of manoeuvres, UAS manoeuvres, because you are going to be applying to operate in a specific category. All right. So the objective of this flight assessment is for you to demonstrate your skills in operating your drone first of all, your safety checklist that you've devised through your operations manual, the emergency procedures I'm going to test you on. And make sure you can fly safely in the surrounding airspace that we've got here today.
Wonderful.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, so as you can see in front of you, there's a set of cones laid out, different colours. So the blue cones represent a rectangle. I'm going to get you to fly around that rectangle in different directions at different heights and different speeds. All right, then we've got a yellow rectangle roughly in the middle. That's going to be the centre point where I'm going to ask you to fly to and hover over so we can see your precision on flying and hovering over a point. And we've got two green cones on the outer side, and that's going to be the extent of a figure of 8. So a figure of 8 will focus on the centre cone, the yellow one, and it will stay within basically the rectangle and the green cones.
Excellent.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so that's basically that, and there'll be a short scenario that I'll conjure up,
Okay.
and just to test your skills and get you to do something which is meaningful. So you haven't decided what you're going to do operationally wise yet with drones?
Not fully yet, no.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So we'll think of a little, you know, using the hedgerow or something. We'll just think of something practical for you to do.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so in the field type.
Yeah. So normally some people say, oh, I'm going to be taking some surveying of buildings. So if we have a flight assessment, if we do have a building on one of our assessment areas, we'd get you to demonstrate what you could be doing in the real world.
Yeah, no, that's excellent.
But here we're quite, you know, we're a lot of open space here.
Yes.
So firstly, Sean, just tell me about your previous drone experience.
Flying drones for about 4 years, probably nearly 5 years actually, probably aging myself. Started off with little parrots, moved on to DJI Mavics, as we all do. I've got hundreds of hours on Mavics of various sizes, and then purchased a little baby, the Inspire one, which I have about 25 to 30 hours on.
Okay.
In both GPS and ATI mode.
Okay.
It's the first drone I've flown in ATI mode actually, but yeah.
Nice drone. Good. Okay. I've seen you set that up. Obviously, we've turned up here and I've seen you set the drone up, taken it out of the box with the transportation and everything like that.
Yes.
And how you set that up, which is fine. And it was one of my drones as well, so I'm very familiar with the Inspire one. So if there's any problems, then let me take over, please. Okay, so before we start the practical, can you just give me your weather assessment today, please?
Yeah, I've checked UAV forecasts and the Met Office. Getting about 6 degrees. It feels a little bit warmer actually when we're here, which is the sun's making it feel warmer. Very good on winds, 10 miles per hour at 100 feet easterly. It's saying 50% chance of rain, which I believed more about 10 minutes ago. It's probably less than that now. And about 60% cloud cover.
Okay, yeah, some nice blue sky coming through, which is good. Okay, so you're happy then the weather's within the limits of your drone and you?
Yes,
you're happy
yes, very much.
That? Okay,
yes.
No problem at all. So, what we're going to have a look at next is, obviously you've seen the assessment site. I know you've had a look at it earlier, and I told you yesterday where we were going to come in, so I know you've had a little scan of it. But can you tell me what sort of risks and hazards that you can see here on the site?
Obviously we've got telephone wires to each side of the long boundaries.
Yep.
It's obviously it's undulating slightly, which obviously is something to bear in mind. We don't seem to have any public rights of way that I can see, which are obvious, but obviously if there is any fence hoppers, etc., I'll take that into account. All the gates are closed and everything. There doesn't seem to be any access points, and there's no livestock currently in here, or in fact in the adjoining fields.
Yep.
So we seem to be okay from that point of view, and obviously we've got landowner permission as well, etc. So
okay, so part of my responsibilities is I've checked that we've got permission to be here.
Okay, cool.
So I've spoken to the landowner yesterday, who's confirmed that he's okay for us. He said there's no animals going to be in here.
Excellent.
There is no public right of way through here. I see you've put a sign up at the entrance there. There is a gate there, and you've put a sign up there, which is excellent. Okay, so obviously you've filled out your risk assessment form.
Indeed.
What about the airspace? Can you now tell me about what airspace we're operating in, please?
Yes, it's Class D airspace, known as the Belfast box, I believe.
Yes, it is,
And therefore, obviously, to fly this particular drone in this area, we don't need any further air traffic control permissions or anything.
Okay.
Airfield-wise, you've got the ARDS local airfield about 5 kilometres over to the east. But we're outside of their NFCs, etc., or any kind of danger area from that point of view.
Okay.
I did notice that there's a hospital about a mile away.
Yep.
But they don't seem to have a helipad. I'm not sure. Am I correct with that?
Ulster Hospital. There's just over there to the west. No, there's no hospital.
I mean, obviously, no helipad doesn't mean no helicopters, of course, because they could land in a field next to it, etc. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But at least I know there's probably no scheduled regular flights going in and out of there, etc. So. There are no TAMs for the area at all, apart from my own one, which I put onto Drone Assist.
Yep. So there's not a no TAM on Drone Assist. It was just the
I was trying to be half funny then, but
okay, right, okay.
It never works.
No, that's good. But it just confuses me.
No.
At that age. Yeah. Okay, so you've created a flight on Drone Assist.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. So that and alerts most people.
Which I tend to do
especially
for every hobby flight. So it's become a habit. So
trouble is, it can attract someone of your following. They could attract all your listeners.
Yeah, I don't tend to put Geeksvana on there, but yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's a good point.
So we've checked whether you're happy with the drone. We've checked the hazards. What about the airspace? Are you happy to fly in this airspace?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Right. No problem at all. Great. Thanks for that. Okay, so just to let you know a little bit about the assessment. So obviously I'm going to give you some instructions of where to fly, what height, what speed. So I'm really looking at your control on how you're controlling your drone.
Okay.
Okay, and how you're using the different, pitch, roll, and yaw to manoeuvre your drone rather than just
Awesome.
keep doing it the long way around.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to be focusing mainly on how you're controlling it. We know you've passed the theory, so you understand the theory side of it.
Yes.
So I'll just be watching you how you operate your drone. So there is a criteria for passing the assessment. Obviously, there's bits if things go wrong, unfortunately, as they do. It is an assessment at the end of the day.
Indeed.
So there are things called minor errors, and these are set out by the CAA and Cap 722B, so it's easy to follow. So we've got minor errors. You're allowed up to 7 minor errors. Any more than 7 is a failure. It's a bit like your driving test when you have, like,
absolutely
errors on that one. So the minor errors are things which there's no impact on safety of people or property or third parties or anyone like that. It's just mainly omissions that you may have done, admit something on your checklist, or you haven't quite got that control.
Okay. Yes.
But nothing in any danger. Then there's major errors. Don't want any of these.
No.
So these are a maximum of 3. So if you get 3, then that's fine. If you get the 4th, then unfortunately that tips you over the edge. And this is where you've got some problems handling your drone. So we want to make sure you can handle it properly. So if you do get yourself into a situation, you're able to know which way to move the drone.
Okay.
Yes. And that's just understanding how you coordinate your hands and fingers.
Absolutely.
And levers. That's what that's about. Okay, so safety errors. If you get a safety error, you're only allowed 1 of them, and if you get one, that's it, you're out, I'm afraid. Now that's where there's a real safety error. That's where there's been a danger to me, to you, or to other people.
Completely understand that, yeah.
So that basically that's a no-go, and we can't have that, as you can see. Okay, so that's really it. Are you ready to go? Are you happy with everything that's been said?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, so I've watched your drone, watched you set your drone up, I've had a look, you've got your operator ID number on there, which is
Yes,
perfect. You've put all the props on, you've got the batteries, you've got a LiPo fire extinguisher, which is a good one to have. You bought that, that's in date, I'm happy with that. And you've got your first aid kit. Alright, so we know where these are. Keep these on the table.
Or hopefully not necessarily.
And, hopefully we won't need them, but at least we know where they are if we need them, so that's great.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we start the assessment then, so first of all, if you can just go through your pre-flight checklist so I can see you've got there.
Yes.
And just go through that with me for the drone, please.
Okay, well, the first one is the air traffic control. Again, obviously, I'll talk before I've checked the airspace, etc., and NOTAMs, etc., so I'm happy that I'm able to fly without any further clearances. I've thoroughly checked the drone, which I always do, just to make sure there's no damage, etc. Obviously, it travelled here with me as well, so I've checked it actually a few times in the last 24 hours. The propellers. Now, I will pop one off to show you quickly, but before put it on when you were looking before, you can see that there's no damage inside them, which I checked very carefully again because it's travelled with me. I did check that several times as well. And I'm just going to check them now it's on the aircraft to make sure there's nothing, no signs of splitting, etc. One thing I find fortunate obviously with the Inspire is it's slightly more obvious if there's a problem than sometimes on the Mavics, but again, when they're black it can sometimes be a bit of an issue. But yeah, everything looks 100. Yeah, everything's fine there.
Okay, have you found a chip or a little crack or nick or?
Yeah, I've got two sets of spare props ready to rock and roll. So
all right, great.
My gimbal lock is off, so the gimbal is ready. That's stored in the case. When I turned it on before, the navigation lights were all working. My camera's correct. I've set it to 1080 for video. Motors are all spinning 100% as they should do, so no problems there. And yeah, my tablet. Tablet has power, and the screen's clear, etc. So my next thing to do on my list would be to then put the drone out and yeah, switch it on, etc.
Okay, so you're happy with the condition of the drone?
Yes.
If you found any problems with it and you had no spares or anything like that, what would you do?
I'd go home.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Basically,
no
yeah.
So
Don't
wouldn't risk
fly
it for a biscuit, as they say.
No, indeed.
No,
absolutely not. No.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So if I take this, I know you've got your takeoff checklist here. If I take that for you. Okay, So we've had a test flight earlier, so we just wanted to check
Yes.
the landing, accept the landing pad. So we'll move on to the takeoff checklist. So just to confirm then, so we've done the risk assessment, and you've done your risk assessment form, you've looked at the hazards, you've identified them, there's the mitigation you've put out, you showed me with the,
Yes.
you know, with the sign.
I've completed my sort of risk assessment form as if it was a job essentially, and yeah.
Okay, so there's no problem at all. So we're happy. We're lucky actually. We've really got a nice secure area here.
Yes,
which is
it's a great location for it.
Okay, so just going to move on to your takeoff checks then.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to check the weather, which hasn't changed even in the time we've been talking. In fact, if anything, it's probably improved. The wind might have picked up a little bit, but still well within operating. It's in GPS mode at the moment. Obviously looking out this, I've been checking the airspace since I walked up to the pad as well, and could see no issues or conflicts. And I don't see any members of the public. Obviously, if I did have a spotter with myself like yourself, obviously someone with experience, I would ask them to keep an eye out as well.
Okay.
So if you do see anything, if you could please let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
With
Okay.
animals, etc., and in terms of airspace as well. You know, it's always good to have multiple eyes, etc., isn't it? So, okay, so now I'll take off and check the actual drone.
Right. Okay. No problem at all.
Just get everything, talking to everything.
Okay, so we've done the checklist.
Okay, so everything is in GPS
Okay,
mode,
so
etc.
what are you checking on there? Things like
Yeah, I basically I made sure that my return to home was set suitable. I put 30 metres, which I did in the test flight. I'm on GPS mode for takeoff, etc.
Yep.
Everything's strong. Controller, satellites, so 20 satellites, which is great.
okay.
Yeah, so she's looking good.
Okay, no problem at all. I'll let you start and do your
Thank you.
check. So what I want you to do then, Sean, if you just literally take off, do the checks that you would normally do, and then once you're happy, just let me know, and then we'll start.
Perfect. Okay, clear props. Taking off.
Yeah, clear. Thank you. Okay, so what are you doing there?
I'm just basically making sure that I'm getting what I would expect from the stick, for both sticks in terms of control,
Yeah.
and obviously yaw as well. Okay. Everything's working there. Quick spin around, make sure the nav lights are still okay. Yep.
And again, if something was untoward, not working properly, or how you'd expect, what would you do?
I would land straight away, even if it wasn't sounding perfect, because actually it sounds like that beautiful Inspire hum.
Yeah,
So,
it's lovely, isn't it?
yeah, so I'm happy from that point of view.
Okay. Right, so if you want to if you can just go up to 40 metres,
Yeah.
and you could go over to the yellow cone in the middle, I think just so I can see how you're positioning yourself over the cone. Obviously you can use your camera if you need to point downwards. Thank you.
Okay, I'm at 40 metres.
Okay. Okay, you're over the cone.
I am.
Okay, let's have a quick look over your shoulder. Yep, okay, that's lovely, thank you. Okay, so if you can come down to this blue cone in the corner there, see the far blue cone in
Yes,
the
sir.
rectangle? If you can head over there and go down to 10 metres above that cone, that'd be great, please.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's at 10.
Okay, so if you just turn the drone round, you see the next blue cone.
Yes.
So if you can turn the drone round so it's facing that blue cone,
Yes, sir.
and then if you then fly to that blue cone
Okay.
and get up to 20 metres when you get to that blue cone, please.
As I'm going there.
Yeah, as you're going along. Again, this is testing your
Multi-control.
yeah,
essentially.
multi-controls,
Yeah.
right? Are you driving forward and climbing?
Okay.
Yeah, so you're over the cone.
Yes, I have it on the screen.
Okay, so again, if you then turn around and come to this next blue cone.
Okay, same height.
Yeah, so this is this one, that one over there. Okay, so if you keep it in that position, if you bring the drone over to this blue cone now,
Yes.
so just roll it across.
So keep. Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep it the way it's
direction
orientated.
as
Yeah,
such,
that's
yeah.
it.
No problem.
And if you can then just bring the height down to again to about 10.
Okay, that's 10.3.
Okay, and then if you just go back, reverse backwards, that one. And go back to the blue one in the corner now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you go a little bit further back. I know it's the depth perception.
Yeah, she's showing is right in the middle of my screen now.
Okay, yeah, that's the green one. If you go back to the blue one,
Oh, is it?
the further one, yeah.
Ah, sorry. Yes.
That's
Over
it,
the top?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so don't forget while you're doing the manoeuvres, I know you're concentrating, but also keep an eye out just of the airspace around
Yes,
you.
indeed.
You have been looking, I know you're concentrating, but just just make sure you really keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
tip.
fine. So if you want to put it in ATTI mode for me, if you're happy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy.
And then what we'll do is if we do the same, go down to that other blue cone in the corner there.
Okay.
You can either go sideways or you can turn it round, whatever you
Probably
wish.
turn around a little bit and get
Yeah.
a little bit of height if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Just the undulation, just keeping.
yeah, that's a good point. So again, once you're up to that cone over there, if you get to 30 metres when you're up to the blue cone,
Okay.
and then hold it over the blue cone, so I know you're in ATTI mode now.
Yes.
So how do you know it's in ATTI mode if you have it looking at the back of the aircraft?
Oh, I don't know actually.
Okay. There are lights at the back.
Right.
The light is yellow in ATTI mode.
Okay.
So green is normal GPS positioning mode. Red is you've got some problems, and obviously the different
Yes, I
types
knew
of
the red
flashing.
was an issue.
Yes,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
different types of flashing.
Okay.
Again, that'll be in your emergency.
So far,
procedures.
I've gone with obviously controller setting and on screen, but
Yeah.
it's good to know.
Okay, so we're in ATTI mode on there. You can see it's in ATTI mode because again it's telling you ATTI mode on there,
Yes,
which
absolutely.
is good. Okay, if you can just keep it in that hover position, that's
Okay,
great. Okay, and if you come over to the yellow cone in the centre, how are you doing for battery, Sean, please?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
It was 65%.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Yeah, that's nice. Good speed, nice, controlled.
Yeah, so just obviously trying to make sure it's
Yeah,
correct wind wise, etc.
yeah. That's it.
Okay.
That's pretty damn good. And just keep it there in the hover nicely, so. Good. It is a little bit windy out there, isn't it? I can see you use the controls.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's got a
So
bit more than
I need
thought.
you to figure of 8 for me, Sean. Again,
Okay.
this is testing your skills in operating the different controls at different times. So if you're happy to do it in ATI mode, the thing is here to bring it what height you like. If you want to bring it down a little bit closer, you
Yes,
can.
I would do that.
And then, so the idea here is just keep the speed down.
Yes.
And
Okay.
whenever you're ready. Actually, just drop the speed a bit, that's it. That's good, that's nice. Okay, let's just go around one more time. Okay. Okay, it's good. Nice and controlled. A little bit fast at the start, you know, because
Yes.
when you come out of one loop and go into the other, that's when
Yeah,
you
the
can
second
run
one
away
felt
with you.
better.
But no, that's good. That's nice. Okay, so as we know, this is a farmer's field.
Yes.
So if you want to put it back into manual
Okay, yeah.
GPS mode, you're more than welcome to. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But the farmer's asked us while we're here. He's got a few problems with animals getting outside the fence. So
Okay.
if you could go down along this hedgerow for me.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the sort of the next hedgerow, it goes up there to the gate.
Okay.
If you can basically go along there, I'm really after to see what's on the other side of that.
Other side of the hedgerow.
Yeah,
etc.
just the other side of the hedgerow he's asked us to have a look at. Put you right in the sun, haven't I?
You have. That's why I wear pat. Yeah, that's slightly.
Right, so yeah, if you get to the other side, so we can see the other side of that hedgerow. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then just go along that hedgerow. And you see where the next hedgerow intersects and
Yes,
goes
sir.
up to your right?
Yeah.
If you can do the same and just follow that up. Again, I can't see if there's any animals behind there. So obviously if you do see if there's any animals behind there, then we'll pull away
Okay.
and we'll do something.
Great drone for visual line of sight, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, up to the break point.
Right, okay, so if you go head over to where the hedge is, you're a little this side of the hedge. So
Yes.
if you go a lot further out, so we can see where the hedge is in your view. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So at the minute, I think so. Someone's going to test some of your emergency procedures now. I can hear an aircraft coming. I can't see it,
Okay.
but I can hear it. What are your actions?
Okay. I'm going to maintain where I am at the moment,
Okay.
and then I'm going to scan the airspace.
Okay.
To see if I can get anything visual. Ask you if you could do the same as well.
Yeah. So why would you not go up or?
Well, obviously, I could end up going into a flight path or
Right. Okay.
interfering with something basic. So I'd rather stay where I am, because staying where I am could actually be the safest thing to do. I don't see anything at the moment.
Okay, so if there's something coming towards you, towards your drone at the same flight level, what would you do?
At same flight level,
Yeah.
I would look to land the drone.
Okay, so let's drop it down quickly as you can. Don't obviously hit the ground, but just bring it down as quickly as you can. Okay, so that's fine. Okay.
Is it 5 meters?
Yeah, okay. So fine, carry on. If you just go back up to your height and then go across to... Cool. So I can now see smoke coming from your drone. Not sure what it is, but there's definitely smoke coming from your drone. What are your actions now?
Okay, I would obviously assume that could be a battery fire. So I would look to land safely. So for instance, it's just over the other side of the field at the moment. I bring it away from that hedge because that could obviously potentially cause a fire, so the hedge will increase the issue. If I can, if I'm fairly close to it, I'd try and land it not on top of me or anything, but close enough that I could potentially help to deal with the fire. Otherwise, land it safely away from anything else and call emergency services.
Yep. Okay, no problem. Okay, so how are we doing for battery life?
We are currently at 33%.
33%. So what I suggest, do you want to bring it in?
Yep.
Land it, and we'll change battery.
Okay.
And then we'll just do 2 other emergency procedures.
Sounds good.
And then does look good in the air, doesn't it?
It's a stunning aircraft. Just the reason why I bought it, really.
Yeah.
Seems to have more of a practical use than I thought she would.
Okay, I know you've got your landing checklist, but you've probably not got it to hand.
Yeah. Everyone's clear.
Clear?
Landing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then I'll turn it off. Everything seems okay.
Okay. So which one do you turn off first, the drone or the controller?
I usually turn off the drone.
Okay. So why would you do that?
A, force of habit, but 2, if I do any stick inputs on this, it can't go anywhere. So that's the thing that can fly. This can't go anywhere. Thank you. Okay, all switched off.
Yep. So just go another battery, Chris. You want to pause if you want to? Okay, all good so far.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll change the battery and then we'll go straight back up and we'll do a couple more procedures. We want to do a return to home, that's why I wanted to make sure we had enough battery life.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll check that return to home and then we're done.
Excellent.
Okay, I noticed you just touched the battery and checked it there. Is that...
Yeah, I slotted it back in, but then realised obviously it might be a bit warm. Okay. So I just put it on top to make sure that it's not too hot to go back in its case. Okay. Okay.
Right, okay.
Yes. New battery in. Again, checking the drone just very quick. Obviously, it has been in the air and it's.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I had your checklist there. So
Oh, thank you.
On the...
Okay, so the motors are still fine. The drone itself is absolutely had no problems. Nothing's hit it or anything as well, which is good. The propellers, nothing new damage-wise there. I've removed the battery. Obviously, I checked it for excessive temperature as it came out and damage. Everything else is packed away safely, and nothing's changed in the site area. So,
Okay. So if you're happy, nothing's changed with the airspace, the hazards are still the same.
Yes.
Nothing's changed. Let's go.
Wonderful.
When you're ready. Okay.
Yep. Everything's fine.
Okay.
I'll move back a little bit more. Sorry.
That's all right. I'll keep that your way.
Okay. Clear props.
Clear.
Taking off or starting up. Okay, operating as I would expect.
Right, okay.
Sounds good.
So if you just head over back towards that gate area,
Okay.
And if you just climb to 20 metres as you go out that way, and just hover over there, please.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, what height are you at there?
19.8, 20.
Okay, so you went out last night, you've had a curry, you're feeling a little bit ill, you're feeling a bit faint.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Okay, if I have somebody with me,
Yep.
who, perhaps someone like yourself, who's professional and experienced, I'd have them take over.
Okay.
So it would take me out of the equation completely.
Yep.
I would, otherwise, if I was by myself and I felt well enough to do so for the trip back, I would press return to home.
Yep.
If I really didn't feel unwell, I'd obviously get it down as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
safely,
Yeah. Okay.
close to its existing location.
Okay, so the next thing, you're on your own, you don't feel well.
Yes.
Let's activate the return to home.
Okay. Okay, the controller's confirmed it verbally and on screen.
Okay.
Drone's turned towards me, it's climbing up to its 30-metre return to home setting.
Okay. So because we've got long grass here,
Yes.
and it's not 100% accurate, and
Yes.
we are both fit and well,
Yes.
I'm happy once it gets over the area so we know what it's done, so we know the return to home has been set correctly because that's where it is.
Yes.
So I'm happy if you want to cancel that,
Okay.
so it doesn't land. Because as I say, we've got the grass here, and we're both capable, hopefully, of
Indeed.
trying it.
Indeed.
So,
Okay.
okay, yeah. So, what I need to do now is, again, let's just go around these cones again, the blue ones.
Okay.
And in fact, we'll do diagonals this time. If we start with this one.
Okay.
And then if we go across diagonally to that one. And when you get that one, I'd like you to be at 100 metres, please, when
Okay,
you get
sir.
to that one. In the diagonal blue. We'll try and aim to get 100 when you're over there.
Yes.
Okay, that's near as damn it to me.
Yeah, that's at
Have a quick look
99.
over here.
Sorry? Yeah.
Okay, now in reverse now. So now come back to this cone, same way you've come from.
Yes.
Come backwards and drop it down so you're 20 metres above that cone,
Okay.
please.
No problem.
That's really nice. That's good. All right.
Okay, yeah.
That's really good. That's nice. Okay, so finally, we've got Farmer Giles has now come in. He's running into the field.
Yes.
What are you going to do? He's running towards that yellow cone.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
So towards that yellow cone, I'm going to move the drone over that way
How far away from him?
to keep 50 metres, at least 50 metres away from him. And as you're with me, so it's a real world scenario, I'm going to ask you to intervene
Go nick him.
and ask him to stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Use your former police powers.
Okay, so yeah, he's coming in. We'll try and get him involved, won't we? But
Yes.
if we can't, then we have to go. How far did you say?
50 metres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Right, that's it. Okay, that's fine. That's the end of the assessment. Is there anything else you'd like to do or do again or anything you're happy with?
I'm happy.
Okay. If you'd like to bring it to land then, please, Sean.
Will do.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, just left your checklist there for
Thank
you to
you.
continue.
Okay. So post-flight wise and in between flight, bear with me 1 second, sorry. And shutdown checks. So again, I can see that the motors are okay. The drone itself in that short flight hasn't come into contact with anything, so it's absolutely fine. Propellers look good. UA battery, I'm going to remove that
Okay.
and leave it out its case for a little while before I put it back in there too. It doesn't feel hot at all. Again, it hasn't been used for very long. And then yeah, then I would then dismantle and put everything away.
Okay. Okay, fine. No problem. Okay, is that the end?
That's it, sir.
Okay. Okay, well done. That was good. It was a good demonstration of your control. You can control the aircraft. We did some obviously turns in ATI mode. We did the figure of 8 in ATI mode, and we did going around the cones in ATI mode, and we did a roll and the yaw round.
Yes.
So that was fine. A couple of bits just to start with, which I know is going to be nerves and
Yeah.
you know, just control, especially some of the you know, one of the figure of 8s.
Yes, the first figure of 8,
but
definitely. Yeah.
that's what happens. Then we did that, which was fine. Then we did look to hovering and going to different height levels as we went from one cone to the other, which was good. We went through a couple of the emergency
Yes.
scenarios. So we did the LiPo battery, the aircraft incursion, the person walking in, and we did the actual return to home, and we showed that the aircraft actually come back, and it actually did near
Yes, it
enough
was
come back
spot
over
on,
the top.
wasn't it,
That was very
actually?
good, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And normally we'd let you continue that, but with the long grass here, it's just not worth it. And then we did the scenario of looking alongside, a little bit false, I know, but you know, with
Yeah,
a,
no, it's a
with
real
an
world
open
example. though,
canvas
so it was-
here.
It was
It's
good.
It's something to do. So,
Yep.
I'm pleased to say you passed.
Ah, thank you.
Congratulations! I think we have to do
Yeah,
that, don't
do
we,
that
in this
these
day
days.
and age? So congratulations! I've
Wonderful.
awarded you 3 minors,
Okay.
minor errors,
Excellent.
which is fine. So I think scanning the airspace. I appreciate you're
Yes.
focused,
Yes.
and I'm telling you what to do.
Yes.
And I'm here.
I think that's the change from hobbyist to
Yeah.
GVC. That
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I know we discussed earlier about, you know, scanning airspace is about listening as well. So you
Yes.
probably were listening and you can hear things.
Yes.
But don't forget.
If I need to practice was more like in the video, that graphic in the
Yeah.
video showed, you know, going round and the
Yes.
dots to really keep,
Because if you're focused on a task for it and you're getting paid for it,
Yes.
and you're going to be, because you want to get the best picture,
That's right.
what you don't want to do is forget everything else. I know
periphery.
you're listening,
Yes.
but obviously you've got to,
No,
got to look
excellent.
as well. So just
Excellent.
make sure that's reinforced. We talked about the controls. So
Yes.
again, it's not safety, it's not major, but you know, and then we picked it up after. But you know, you're brave. You've come here and you've done it in ATI mode. We get a lot of people who will come in with a Mavic, which doesn't do ATI mode.
Yes.
And they will do it, and they will do it no problem. So fair play to you. You've taken a test, and you're quite happy to do it in ATI mode, which is a good demonstration. If that's what you're going to be using, that's what you should be doing.
Absolutely,
In the real world,
yes.
if the GPS fails, then that's where you're left
Yeah,
with.
no,
And
indeed,
you've
indeed.
proved that you can do that. That's good. And just the last thing on your landing checklist, don't forget you just make sure call landing to land in the aircraft, so people know that you're landing.
Absolutely. Yes.
And then obviously you've got it in your checklist. You put aircraft safe.
Yes.
So we must make sure if it's in your checklist, we want you to comply
Absolutely.
with that. So
Thank
again,
you.
it's not a safety issue. It's not a concern. You know, you've come down. You knew there's no one here. I
Yes,
saw you.
I did
looking
physically
round.
check. Yes, but
You
I
said that
didn't call out,
Yeah.
which is
And I told you were
which is
landing, so I
correct.
knew.
Yes.
But 3 minor errors.
Wonderful.
As I say, you're allowed 7. So I think that's very, very good. And I think you've demonstrated a good safe flight. So well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yay. Okay, so there we have it. Thank you all. I've got the chat open in front of me on my phone here. Thank you all for your very kind comments. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you all coming in as well. Absolutely fantastic. As you can see, I passed.
Hey, well
Hey.
done, Sean.
So very, very happy with that. Thank you, Andrew, for taking the time to assess me, etc. And yeah, and obviously for the course, etc. 5-second rule.
5-second rule wasn't on there.
Yeah.
we'll
As
put
long
on
as the
there
burger
to-
doesn't hit the
yeah,
floor, I
to
think we're okay.
sterilise.
I'm actually trying to work out what was more dangerous: me trying to live stream a flight assessment, which of course that had just happened, or watching burgers being cooked this close to my face while I'm trying to live stream. I'm not entirely sure which is the most dangerous, but we'll see. But yeah, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining us in the chat as well. El Smego, great to see you. UK Bubblers, good to see you as well. Any spare burgers going? Yes, if you're close, come along. James Clark, thank you. James Lakeman, awesome. Thank you. He said, yes, it looks like you need your fire extinguisher for those burgers. Yes, I think we do have one pretty close as well, actually, for that reason. Every time I move, the smoke moves towards me, actually, which is always good fun. But yeah, it was interesting. It was it's something you can always prepare for.
Yeah.
I was actually nervous in different points than I thought I would be, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Things like actually even in the auto modes, in DPS mode, coming back to land and that type of thing, actually, you know, because you think if you fluff the landing,
Yeah.
it can almost be more embarrassing. But even at least ATI mode, there is a challenge to it. But no, it was an interesting flight.
Yeah, you did well. You did well, Sean. Really,
start
really
to get
good.
some
You had,
flames there.
you had to prepare for it twice as well, obviously
Yes.
because of the weather. But anyway, I'm very pleased to present you with your GVC certificate. We do an operator ID card as well.
Fantastic.
So a nice GVC card for you there. So
Thank you very much,
all
sir.
that. So congratulations, well done. It was a really good, solid flight. Well done.
Yes. So yeah, really pleased with that. Thank you very much. Elsmego says a celebratory drink of gin, Sean. Yes, there will definitely be some of that happening for sure. Coming up soon, we have got Ian from London. I always call him that. Ian in London will be joining us for a bit of a Q&A and a bit of a chat as well. And a little look back. I've got a few questions from our members, and also we'll be taking any questions that you've got in the live chat. I've seen a few come up as well, which I will raise. And yeah, it's been a really interesting time, frankly. This is fantastic to have this in my hands. Next up is looking at obviously gaining actual operational authorisation for the CAA, which is
PDRA 01.
indeed, which is
Where the hard work begins.
yes, which is where the hard work begins. So this is another step. Although I suppose technically with the GVC pass I could work under someone else's.
Yeah, so you've got the
Operator's manual.
GVC certificate, so you've reached the required standard, done the theory, done the practical flight assessment.
Yeah.
So you can now work under our ops manual or someone else's ops manual, as long as you understand and know that ops manual inside out, and whoever's going to take you on, whether you're going to use their drones. But yeah,
Excellent.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so no, it was excellent, and I do want to give a shout out as well to all of the crew and everyone behind the scenes here at Drone Masterclass for putting on a fantastic show. This is obviously, as anyone knows with my live streams, this is a titchy bit out of my comfort zone technology-wise and also skill zone right now, frankly. It's opened my eyes an awful lot, but thank you to everybody behind the scenes. You've all done an exceptional job today. These burgers are starting to get a little bit brown. So let's just check out the chat very quickly. Akirasho is asking, has Ken Heron ever live streamed a test? No, we're actually trying to work that out. We think certainly in the UK, we think this is probably the first time. Certainly the GVC is quite new, so that's not exactly necessarily, it's not like the qualification's been out for 5 years, is it?
No,
so it's,
that's right.
it's not much of a first, but yes, we think it is probably the first time. We wanted it to be 100% live, but obviously with the weather, you can see the differences there. And in actual fact, that's one good point to make about the apps, especially with weather, UAV forecast, windy.com, the Met Office, etc. Throughout today, from preparing this morning, preparing just before we tried live at just before 2 o'clock, and this evening, the weather reports I got were dramatically different, which shows why it is important to keep refreshing that data as a hobbyist flyer as well, to ensure that you've got absolutely up-to-date data as far as what's going on, and assess things constantly, frankly. Aztec Drones, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Matt Preston says he didn't get a burger with his PFCO. Well,
it's the wrong person.
Yeah, came to the wrong people, perhaps. And Family Guy was saying, don't forget the bacon for those burgers. I certainly hope there is some bacon somewhere. Yes, Smego, thank you for putting the Drone Masterclass GVC link in the chat there. There's also a link in the description to them and our other show sponsor, Moonrock Insurance. So I think we're next going to move inside. Am I smoking up? Lindsay, hey, thank you, Lindsay. Next we're bringing in Ian in London. So I think we are we cutting to one thing I didn't ask actually, are we cutting to a scene whilst we move inside? So the barbecue's coming along well. Anyone for a burger? Anyone for a sausage? And we've got more stuff here. We've got chicken wings. Help operators, help remote pilots go about their daily work. I'm looking at different courses, so keep an eye on our website and you'll see what's coming up.
There's a few things coming up which I can't talk about at the minute, but please have a look. And I promise you, I'm a bit better at doing drones than I am at doing a barbecue, as you can see from these sausages. Ooh. Anybody wants to hire me, I'm available.
Okay, apologies there for that slight delay. And you did get to see the Geeksvana cooking channel side of things there for a little while, which is always good fun. Just while we set up that shot, obviously we went out quickly to record the live test there. So then it was basically a case of then needing to obviously have a shot set up for the in-between bit here. So I could have perhaps come inside as my phone is actually now starting to go off. That was a good start, wasn't it? Okay, put that on the floor. Excellent. So yes, so now we've got a Q&A coming up. Andrew will be making his way back in, but we've also got a very special guest joining us, who is, I believe, will now appear on, as if by magic, will now appear on the screen. It's Ian in London. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Sean. How you doing? Good. I'm confused by the technology. But there
same
we go.
here.
Glad to be
Same
on
here.
your huge
Yeah.
big TV. I was just getting a bit hungry watching the barbecue there, but
Yes, so
I've been
I
out
can
all
smell
day,
it as well. So.
have you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been decent actually. It's we've been joined by a fantastic audience all day, which is amazing. Very lucky with that. We did have to postpone. Thank you for moving your segment around a little bit there. I do appreciate it.
See my little candles from dinner last night there. The other
Oh,
way there.
very nice. So yes, because the weather let us down a little bit there, but then when we did go back out to do it, it was perfect conditions, and happy to report that I did pass. Yes, I have my little GVC card here somewhere.
Have you announced to everybody why you've actually done the GVC over and above the A2 CofC?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's mainly because my journey really from when I started this channel as a complete and utter hobbyist, has really sort of moved on and on and on. I do have plans. There's a second channel, Geeksvana Studios, which I have a plan to start moving content across to, and I'm also going to be making some flights in the specific category with the Inspire One, etc., and that type of thing. So it was something that was necessary, basically, for me to be able to carry on with what I'm doing, or hope to be what I'm doing. I have to say my path through droning, I think I want to go there, and I end up going over there, if you know what I mean. So it's sort of I didn't necessarily expect to find myself here doing a GVC and that type of thing. So yeah, I'm flexible about it, but it's those were my original intentions behind it, certainly. And you know, it's
the reason I ask, I've had a few people get in touch. You know, well, I'm doing the GVC. Will that get me the same rights as the A2 CofC? It's harder, more expensive, so surely it must get me at least the same rights. And I'm like, no, it doesn't actually give you any rights, really.
Yeah, exactly, because obviously then you have to have your ops manual and go across on your actual operational authorization. And interestingly, the course that I did take was the A2 CofC combined with GVC, which I know a lot of people like to do because it does combine those two.
Well, there's a huge overlap
under each one. Yeah, exactly. And certainly once we start seeing those C-class drones, if that ever actually happens, is the way it feels for me right now, then obviously, you know, all these people that have already passed their A2s, it's going to be a leap forward, frankly, isn't it? It's going to be a leap forward for them because they're going to be able to pick up that drone and start flying, you know, within a decent meterage of people. And in actual fact, we've got a few giveaways to do tonight as well, and in tonight's show at 9 o'clock as well. We'll do one quickly now for anybody in the chat. You can get a Drone Masterclass and Geeksvana t-shirts, a bit of merch giveaway. To the first person in the chat who can tell us what year.
I'm just realised I'm not seeing the chat, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
How am I seeing the chat?
Yeah, you may have to open a separate link on the YouTube channel part of it, actually.
I'll do the YouTube and mute it.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You carry on.
So the CAA, UK CAA, what year was that formed? Pop that in the chat, and the first person will win that merch. Now, we also have a couple of courses to give away as well, which is we've still got another A2 CofC to give away and a GVC, but we'll have a little bit more on that very soon. We'll probably decide which one to do. So, how have you found deploying your A2 CofC? Have you found it sort of a little bit frustrating, like I have, from the point of view of not having the C-class drone yet?
Me?
Yeah.
No, really. I haven't done much flying, apart from out my back garden, where I obviously don't need the CofC.
No,
so yeah, I'll be honest. I've done no travelling. It literally is that basic. I can remember on New Year's Eve, I was up in Finchingfield and I flew my Mavic Mini, or the Mini 2 rather, up on Finchingfield Village Green. And I felt all rebellious for a couple of minutes. And then I realised that it's so quiet and tiny, everyone just thought I was playing with a micro drone and really couldn't care.
Yeah, no, and that's the benefit of the Mini 2, isn't it? It's like today with my flight test, obviously I was using an Inspire 1, and obviously it's a big beast with, you know, loud motors and everything else. Even when she's at 50 meters, you can still very much hear and see it.
Yeah.
But with the Mini 2, as you say, people don't really react when you pull that out, unwrap it and take off. People just a few meters away aren't really that bothered about what you're doing. So I think it's in one of my previous videos, actually talking about where are the C-rated labels, I did call the Mini 2 kind of the king of the skies at the moment, in terms of the UK, because it is a very capable drone.
Yeah.
And obviously with the 4K.
Right. Sorry about that. You just may have had a quick. I was just opening up chat so I can see people now.
Excellent. We may have
so there we go.
A double overlay.
Yeah, I've muted you on YouTube, and there we go. So I can zip back. Hello to everybody who said hello to me. Sorry I missed your chat. Sean normally sends me a little link, and it's a bit more technically
Yes, it's
prepared.
a strange feeling of not having all the buttons to do everything. Actually, it's a very strange feeling, and
You've already got 5 screens wrapped around your head and things like that.
That's it exactly, and stream decks and everything else like that. So yes, I think we actually had our correct answer in the chat. If I can find that back now.
And after they've googled it up.
AirView UAV, and it was 1972, which was the correct answer. Which again, I'll have our senior mod, Elsmeghead, check on that for us to make sure that was correct. But yeah, I believe that was actually it. So how are things going for Ian in London as far as the channel's concerned? I've been watching your A2S videos, which are fantastic.
I've got too many toys to play with, Sean.
They've come really quickly, haven't they? They've like Mini 2, FPV drone, A2S. It's like.
That's it. And then I decided also I've got hold of the big Mega Beast. The big pumpkin.
Hello. I have one on the way, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which hopefully means a bit more UK support for them as well.
Yes, I've already. So there we go. That's the big beast that is the Autel Evo 2 Pro. Took it out for its maiden flight the other week. Had some fun with the obstacle avoidance sensors. They kept bringing it to a crashing halt because it was a sunny evening, which could have done better. But apparently, got to do a firmware update and also see about not flying in the sunshine, which
Yes.
But solidly built. I mean, the arms. The huge gimbal on it as well. I mean, it is a beautiful bit of kit.
It is a chunky old drone.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So so FPV I was just chatting with my sister, and I was like, got the FPV, got the A2S, still wanting to do Mini 2 videos because I've got people nipping at my heels for more Mini 2 videos.
Same.
Well.
It's what people want to see.
Yeah, Autel Evo 2. So I've got 4 drones on the go. I'm still doing my day job. So, and I've got a big garden, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that takes up a bit of time as well. So I've had a fair old bit at the moment. But, so that's what's happening. But doing my best to get a video out every week or so. Sometimes 2, just depends. Been a big... I've gone over to Adobe Premiere Pro as well. That's been a bit of a learning curve for me.
You upgraded the laptop and everything, didn't you, to get the
4K
side of things going, which is exciting.
Yeah, well, that's it. Now, all videos being uploaded properly in full 4K, not 2.7 anymore.
Very nice.
And I do like Premiere Pro. I've got Premiere Pro. I've got used to that. New laptop is great. The new camera I'm using to film the videos is great as well. And a new big Rode microphone as well. So I thought add a little bit of a tech upgrade.
Nice.
And it's been good. It's been good fun learning all that stuff, making use of it, and I can see the differences in the video. Probably most people watching on a phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the thing, isn't it? Whenever you sort of upgrade, you do that, you change your editing sequence. You're like, oh, that's such a beautiful video. You upload it, and it's getting viewed at 480p on most mobile phones, and that's it. So, but you still have to do it, don't you? I suppose. And I've found that so many times the videos you put so many hours into, and they 2 weeks later 300 views, and then you have something else which is a quick clip here, clip there, which you've sort of put together to get a good story out there, and it gets a couple of 100,000 views. It's a
case
strange
in
thing.
point. One of my quickest little videos a couple of weeks ago, I had another subscriber complaining about the Mini 2 battery not discharging properly.
Yes.
It was the quickest. I filmed. The studio just happened to be set up, so I literally darted in the studio, just spoke a bit to the camera, had it edited in less than 2 hours, uploaded it, and there I am being quoted on Tech Radar yesterday. Oh, Ian was very chuffed about that. So
yeah, very cool. But it's one of those videos, and as soon as it came up, I watched it instantly. But it is good because that also shows that as much as the 4K this, 4K that, and I was talking to Kelly Shaw's from Ready Set Drone about this earlier, that the content is king. And actually, that was something important to get out to people. Everybody across the nation was hopping off to their Mini and Mini 2s and checking if they had their batteries in their holder or not. And sure enough, we were all pressing our buttons and they were showing full charge. So
I think I pulled them out and I actually put them in the drone. I think what's actually happening there is that when they're connected to either the drone or the hub, they are still discharging, but much, much, much slower. And when I left mine for over a month, and they were on something like 94%. So obviously a lot slower discharge than was in the manual. And but I did wonder, is this the way they're designed? But no, when DJI actually commented on my video, which I was quite surprised at, confirming they were going to fix it and upgrade, I thought, okay, yeah, good. And then it was my sister that knocked through the link the other day. It's like, oh, you're on Tech Radar. They quoted your video.
You're literally on the radar.
And then I got a comment. Yeah, and then I got a comment from a subscriber in San Diego saying that he was reading his a story in the San Diego Tribune, and it was in the tech section, written by the same guy who does Tech Radar. And again, he saw my name pop up. I was like, okay, that's quite cool, actually. I like the idea of being banded around in the press around the world. So,
Indeed.
Some chap, the chat has gone beyond.
Yes.
Somebody was asking what laptop.
Yes, I was about to say that.
using
Len Hartley asked that. Yeah.
Yes, Len. It's a Dell. It cost $2,500. It's pretty expensive, 17-inch, very nice. I actually got it from the refurbished site, so
Nice.
that was another
Very cool.
grand off its normal price. I'll have to. You tell him you can email me ian@ian.com,
exactly. Yeah.
and I'll send him the actual thing. But it's a beautiful laptop. I love it. It does everything. So
I have to say I'm pretty similar in terms of computer specs. When people will sit and they'll say it's an i9 with 3070 16 gig this and I'm fairly similar.
i9
It's like this
I
laptop.
run i9.
It's a laptop and it does what I need it to do. I can look it up like
17 inch
exactly like you're saying.
4K resolution screen,
Nice.
touch screen, which was whatever, if that, a little bit extra. But yeah, and I love the way when I open it up, it just flashes its little red eyes at me and then unlocks on facial recognition.
Exactly.
That puts a smile on my face. Little things.
Simon Chavazio, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. I appreciate it. He says Tech Radar, wow. And there's been loads of videos after yours, Ian, LOL. Yeah, I noticed that after about, I think the first one I saw going up on the same subject was about 12 minutes. Which I think was incredibly quick for a copy of a copy type thing, which is very, very, very fast. But
that's okay.
As long as it's getting the message out there.
You can't get too precious about that sort of thing, because ultimately, especially in our narrow niche world of YouTube, we're all talking about the same drones.
Yeah.
We're all learning different things off each other. I always do like it when I do find a little niche thing that hasn't been. I mean, some of the wind things I learned with the Mini and the like, that was cool. And ultimately, I mean, let's not forget, it was another chap's. He got in touch with me. He'd done a little YouTube video, and he asked me to try and get the message out as well. So ultimately, we are all not copying each other, but we're all talking about the same thing. We all talk about it in our own style. We all have our own way of presenting things.
Exactly.
Some people are a little bit more theatrical. Some people are a little bit more presentable, and some people are a little bit more boring. And that's it. You have your style. You say your message, and off you go.
Yeah, and it's always good to have that overlap, because I do enjoy that overlap, because it's one of the things that's got us talking and us doing collabs and things, is the fact that we both talk about the rules, etc. And it's nice, because if you watch the different videos, you get not just different interpretations necessarily, but you get different points of opinion, which I think is good, different points of view, and also different applications. Because how I would apply the rules in my flying life is very different to how you would, and Ash from Droning On, and everybody else. And it's good to have that kind of overlap there, really, so that people can get differing opinions. But again, it's different styles. I was talking to Kelly Shaw's Ready Set Drone earlier on, and we were talking about everyone's style. And as I said to you last time you were on Geeksvana Live, the part of your style I like is you and Ted in the garden talking about a drone basically and saying, right, this is what you need to do, this is what it does, and now I'm going to walk under this tree and see if it follows me, etc. And so people know exactly what they're going to get and the level of information they're going to get. And yeah, hence you are still climbing up the ranks of subscriber numbers as we speak, which is good to see.
I had a video failure the other day that didn't even get anywhere. I did try and active track Ted, and
really, I don't think I got notified on that.
No, you wouldn't, because I didn't bother putting the video up because I didn't get anywhere.
Okay.
It was immediately the moment I tried to highlight Ted, it just comes up with a please try tracking a human or a vehicle.
Yes.
And
that's interesting.
Eventually, I got it to focus on Ted, and the moment he moved, it just lost him. And I'm like, I'm not going to make a video on this because that's just so. Yeah, there we go. For everyone wondering, Ted is not trackable.
Indeed, exactly. Yes, because I know Ken Heron tried to track the Air 2 with the Air 2S, and again, it came up with the same message. He was able to draw the box around it, but it came up saying, please track a person or a vehicle. So it wouldn't let you do a drone on drone, which I wondered if they'd actually excluded drones specifically, because I can understand that, because drones do obviously move around a bit, and once you start to get two drones trying to avoid each other a bit too close, you might get into trouble. But I don't see a problem with tracking Ted, surely.
That's yeah, I know. Thank you, Elspeth Arcade, for that. When I did the Air 2S video, I had all three airs up in the air at the same time, and there was just one. We had one near-death experience, which sadly wasn't caught on camera. But
oh no!
I pressed the wrong remote control, because they all look the bloody same now.
They do.
I pressed the wrong remote control. Sure enough, one went up into the other. There was a, but they didn't fall. And there was no crash, no damage, but that would have been good, on my first flight, because it genuinely was the first flight. I got the other two, the old original Air and the Air 2, on the table ready. But when I do that first flight, I want the reaction to the sound and stuff like that. So yeah, but it wouldn't have been very good. Crashed it on my first flight, mind you. There have been worse. Poor old Mr. DC Rainmaker trying to test the active track. I mean, I felt really sorry for the guy, but me personally, I wouldn't be having my drone the wrong side of the trees overhanging a canal, because when you hit a tree, the props stop. But it made a good video, and it gave him an excuse to get his scuba gear out as well.
Yes, exactly. Which again shows, as we were saying before, about the different types of content that overlaps and then diverges, but everyone's got their thing. That's another fantastic creator that's certainly well worth a follow. Cryptoman 5000 actually
very good lad.
Indeed. So he crashed his Air 2S on its third flight. DJI replacing with Refresh, with a brand new inbox sealed drone and battery. That's good. I have to say, you do find that with the Refresh sometimes, even when you send something in for repair with them, you often get a new drone back, don't you? Sort of, it's not even the same drone; it's a different serial number.
I don't know, because I don't ever take out Refresh, because I haven't got the money to do that. I prefer to put it to another drone. And B, I've only lost one drone, and I did that spectacularly well.
Touch wood.
And bastards didn't replace it because I couldn't actually produce the body of the drone. So that was it. They had their one chance. They failed me, and I've never bothered with Refresh again.
Exactly, and that's how the experience. I think they have added the flyaway now, but it's a chunky extra cost, isn't it? That's almost like with the Refresh and the flyaway. I think it's like a third of the cost of the drone. It's like that's getting a bit too high for me. And I have to admit, I haven't personally used it since I got insurance.
That's one of the reasons why. Sorry, mate.
No, that's all right.
Cutting in. I'm saying that's one of the reasons why, though, I do so many of these: how to prevent flyaways, how to find your drone if it's lost, what to do if it is going wrong. Because, obviously, I've got quite a bit of practice now in flying, and I fly my drones. I push them to the limit. So when it's very, very windy, and when conditions are far from favourable, but I have my backup plan. If it is all going wrong, then you land straight away. And that's why I don't do these wind tests anywhere near water. I certainly don't want to go walking out into a field. I did that on one disastrous wind test video, and that was not fun. The state of my boots when I came back in from that field. But I mean, ultimately, the point I'm trying to make is that the refresh is good and it serves a good purpose. But I think after you've been flying for a year or two, if you're flying carefully and you're aware of the potential pitfalls, for me, I don't do the refresh, because you've got to pay the extra premium.
Yes.
Then you pay, what is it, 39 quid or 50 quid or something like that for the actual replacement. And, you know, you can quite often buy a drone only as well. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're a bit of a hoon and crashing all the time, then it's actually great value for you. But thankfully, touch wood, so far, apart from the incident down at Dover, I haven't actually lost or crashed another drone. Well, I haven't crashed it enough to break it, put it that way.
Indeed.
So, yeah, that's where I am.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you for joining us on International Drone Day. I really appreciate it. We've had a few people pop in. We've got more coming up at 9 o'clock with Felix from Quadcopter Guide, and then Ken Heron's popping in briefly as well to say hello and give a prize away, which is awesome. Yes, I will, most definitely. Another great guy. So yes, it's been a lot of fun seeing everybody. So yeah, so as I say, thanks, and I look forward to the Evo videos when they come out, and definitely get some more Mini 2 videos up, please, as well. I'll have my name to the list of people asking for that. But yeah, it's great to see you, sir. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Cool, Sean. You take care. Have a great evening.
See you soon. Cheers. Okay, how about we give another prize away very quickly, and then we'll head off. Remember, we're back at 9 p.m. For the reacting to viewer video with Stephen Sutton, and again, as I say, it will be Felix and Ken Heron joining us. But we'll finish up today by giving away an A2 CofC. I know this will be a quick one because the answer, I think a lot of people will know this answer. But what is the minimum distance an A2 CofC holder will be able to get to uninvolved people with a C2 labeled drone in slow mode? So the first person to put that in the chat will win themselves an A2 CofC from our fantastic sponsors, Drone Masterclass. Okay, and the first one was actually our Smeghead, who actually has put 5 meters in there, which is 100% correct. So congratulations to you, sir. But yes, lots of people getting it. So that was a speed one, I think, for everyone to try and get there. Ian in London has had a go at it as well, so unlucky, but Mr. Smeghead got there very, very quickly. So excellent. So yes, as I say, thank you very much for joining us for another one. Fantastic to have this now in the armoury. The GVC pass now is on with the operations manual from the point of view of submitting CAA and getting the operational authorisation, which again will continue the GVC walkthrough guide. We've got another video on that coming up this week, which shows a bit more of the course itself. Thanks again to Drone Masterclass for putting this show on, and I'll see you all at 9 p.m. See you then. Thanks, guys.